what you're thinking, blaxploitation, but hear me out. Don't let the special effects of the Black Panther film and the jive turkey slang of blaxploitation films confuse you. The Black Panther film by Marvel is already breaking and outselling every previous superhero film in advanced ticket sales. Not only that, but this cast is led by black actors, it has a black superhero, and support from black communities worldwide. It's not another slave movie, it's not another Butler or Maid movie, and it showcases Africa as a land of futuristic, rich resources and not some primitive, backwards land. So where's this blaxploitation talk coming from? First, let's look at the definition. The exploitation of black people, especially with regard to stereotype roles in movies. Let's look at the similarities between the blaxploitation period and today. First, we're going to talk about stereotypes. The characters in the blaxploitation films were often drug dealers, pimps, prostitutes, were usually strong men fighting the system or the man. And these heroes in the movies were generally black and the lead actors were generally black, which was a first also. Today, the Black Panther film takes place in a futuristic Africa, which has the world's leading source of vibranium, which is a metal known for its technological powers. If you're thinking cell phones right now, we're probably on the same page. This is also the first majority black-led superhero movie, just like the black actors were the first heroes in the blaxploitation films. Also, for stereotypes, one of the main superpowers for the main character is his ability to do witchcraft. I'll let you figure that out. Racism, number 2. With Malcolm X and Martin Luther King being assassinated a few years earlier, what better way to stir race relations than with blaxploitation films? Many cities began to riot due to their deaths, and what better way to let them cool off steam by showing them visuals of fighting the man? The deaths today of Eric Garner, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, cities began to riot and protest again due to the lack of injustice for their deaths under a black president. And a year later, here we have Donald Trump. I'm sure this film will make us forget about Donald Trump for a day or two. That reason alone should convince you, but if it doesn't, listen to number 3, the soundtracks. Blaxploitation films were the first to feature soul and funk on a soundtrack. Superfly was very popular, which a soundtrack led by Curtis Mayfield, had songs on there about drug dealing, addicts, and poverty. Today's Black Panther soundtrack is led by the super rap label TDE, which is led by Kendrick Lamar, whose second to previous album sounded just like it was out of the blaxploitation era. And that's not a knock on Kendrick, because that was my favorite album in the last decade. Now, in my opinion, until people of color own their distribution and means of production, they will always be exploited, period, point blank. I did a video in May of 2017 titled Superman vs. Malcolm X, and why we love fake superheroes more than the real ones. Put that in your pipe of smoke. As I stated earlier, the Black Panther film is scheduled to gross $150 million. Now let's compare that to Malcolm X and Nat Turner, the real superheroes. Malcolm X grossed just $9.8 million in its opening weekend, while Birth of a Nation grossed just $7 million in its opening weekend. But let's go deeper. These are just numbers and salaries. Ultimately, what's being exploited is our desire and dream to be self-sufficient and favored for white validation. As many black actors have warned, the seat at the Hollywood table is reserved, and that reservation list is very small. There's nothing wrong with supporting black films by black directors, but not at the expense of lowering our standards for self-sufficiency. Remember, during slavery, slaves were allowed to celebrate every once in a while too. Till next time, think independently. Your future depends on it. Stay tuned for more Melanated Media news.